Well, Taylor, what happens when you mix NASCAR and some bad weather in the month of March in East Tennessee?
I don't know what you get, but something crazy probably.
You get a slippery mess. Why they try to race NASCAR races in March, we don't know, but hey, we're making an episode about it. That's coming up next on Game of Storms.
This is the X Sports Network.
Welcome back to another episode of Game of Storms. AJ Good, joined by Taylor Plott. I'm the sports guy. He's the weather guy, but we both kind of mix a little bit. Last week, talking hockey, had some white stuff. Kind of earlier in the day, it was more about the coldness. It was the second coldest sporting event in world history, I guess. So I haven't seen anything other than the Ice Bowl colder than that. But this, we're talking a spring sport, and we're talking snow, and in a sport that does not mix well with.
It doesn't. I mean, obviously, for those NASCAR fans out there, you obviously know track gets wet or anything gets on the track, that's going to hurt, the ability to race. But in this case, we're not talking about rain, are we?
No, we're not talking about rain. We're talking about snow. So we're going to the 2006 Sharpie Mini 300. Happened at Bristol Motor Speedway, March 25th, 2006. Now, this is in the what was known as the Busch Series. But now I think it's the Nationwide Series. It's been the Nextel Series. It's been a bunch of different. So basically, how things work in NASCAR, you have like ARCA, Truck Series, Nationwide, Busch Series, and then you have the Cup Series. So you have all these different kind of layers. They all race every weekend. Mainly how it works, Truck Series is on Fridays. The Busch Series, Nationwide, whatever it is on Saturdays. And then the Cup Series is on Sundays.
Exactly. And this is something that we talked about, it's going to be a Saturday race.
Yeah.
And the question, especially back when this all happened, was, okay, well, this is happening on Saturday, impacting the Busch Series.
Yeah.
What's going to happen with the Cup Series on Sunday? Yeah. And, I mean, this is... honestly, when you told me about this race, I had completely forgotten that this actually happened. And it's crazy to actually see a NASCAR race in the snow.
and the visuals are incredible. And the first kind of race that comes to my mind when I just Googled greatest weather races in NASCAR history. Saw a bunch of rain, but one that really popped out of my mind because I actually went to it. I was covering it at the time. Happened in Martinsville around, I think it was like 2017 or 2018. They had a lot of snow that basically moved the race, I think, to a Tuesday or a Wednesday. And but we'll do that one eventually at some point. But when I typed it, this is actually the first one that popped up, just because of not as much big implications. Even though a lot of the Cup Series guys do race, they'll race in the Truck Series, they'll race here in the Busch Series or the Nationwide Series. But it's weather most of the time. It's not like Formula One. Formula One will race in every type of stuff. Obviously, the dirt tracks. Those type Indy cars will race in anything, but in NASCAR, there's no tread on those tires.
Yeah.
And the moment you get the slightest bit of precipitation, it's game over. We're stopping this thing.
Exactly, and that's again what I mentioned. Like if you're a NASCAR fan, you know exactly you get anything on that track that is of water type, whether it's rain, whether it's even hailstones, sleet, snow, whatever. You're getting that water on the track, and you have no tread in those tires. And it's just a slip and slide out there with the cars.
Yeah, so this was the sixth race of the '06 season. We started off February 18th at Daytona. Tony Stewart won that. They go to California the next week. Greg Biffle won that.
Greg Biffle.
Then they went, I think, 2 weeks later to Mexico City for a road race course. Denny Hamlin wins that. Next week, they come back to Las Vegas. Casey Kane wins that. Then the week before at Atlanta, Jeff Burton wins that race. So this is race number 6 on the Busch Series. Let's take a look at the top 10 of the standings here in the Busch Series. Number 1 was, and some of these names you're going to recognize right off the get-go. Done a lot. Kevin Harvick won it that year, and he won it in '01 as well. He's won the NASCAR Cup in 2014. He has 121 career wins between Nationwide and the second level of the Cup. Carl Edwards won the Busch Series the next year in '07. Finished second in the NASCAR Cup in '08 and 11, 72 career wins. Clint Bowyer finished third He won the Nationwide Series in '08 when they changed from the Busch to the Nationwide. So you have '06, '07, and '08, 1, 2, 3 here. Finished second in the Cup standings in 2012, 21 career wins. Denny Hamlin, he finished second in the Cup standings in 2010. He has 57 career wins, 18 career Busch wins, so that's 75 career. And this is kind of your, kind of along with the Dale Earnhardt type of guy, this is a guy that's been multiple top 5 finishes, multiple top 10 finishes at the end of the year. He has never won a Cup title, hasn't even won a Busch title yet.
Yeah.
This is kind of crazy. When you think of the guys who, it's kind of like the Buffalo Bills.
It is. Oh, don't bring that. I'm a Bills fan. That's going to hit right in the heart there.
We'll have some Bills games on this. We could do 2 a year. On what's happened with the Bills. J.J. Yeley finished 5th in the Busch Series. 06 is his highest ever. 21st was his highest Cup Series. 9. He has no career wins. He does have 9 top 10s to his name. Paul Menard finished 5th in the Busch Series in 2010. 14th is his highest Cup finish. That happened in 2015. He has 4 career wins, 1 in the Cup Series and 1 in the Busch Series. Kyle Busch has won 2 NASCAR Cup Series wins, 15 and 18, 1 in 09. So, 4 straight here in this list. He has 165 career wins, 63 on the Cup, 102 in the Busch Nationwide Cup Series. Johnny Salter finished 8th. That's his highest ever in the Busch Series in 03-06. His highest ever in the Cup Series was just 30th. He does have 3 Busch career wins. However, more known for what happened on the Truck Series. He has 24 career wins there. Greg Biffle won the Busch Series in 02. His highest ever in the Cup Series was 2nd. That happened in 05. Won the Truck Series in 2000. Won it actually in 2000 and 2016. He has 56 career wins. And Reed Sorensen finished 10th. 4th in the Busch Series in 05. His highest ever. 22nd in the Cup Series. Does have 4 Busch career wins to his name. So that is your top 10 there.
You're just bringing out some childhood memories right there with some of those names.
Some big-time names here, on that list. Well, come to think of it, you think, okay, NASCAR is kind of different now. You look at their schedule, they more than likely try to stay away from the cold weather places. How many races do you think they have done in Bristol in the month of March?
How long has Bristol been there?
Since 1960. That's when it opened up.
I'm going to, in the month of March.
In the month of March.
I'm going to, 18?
30.
30. Okay, that's a lot more than I thought it was.
They have done 30 races there. The first came in 1963. Check out the name of this guy. Fireball Roberts. Won their first ever March race in 1963, and they haven't learned their lesson. They raced in Bristol in March last year. In 2024, Denny Hamlin won that. They got a little wise from 1982 to 96, a 14-year gap where that race, the spring race, happened in March. But I think they've kind of come and gone. There's been like 6 straight years, a couple-year gap, then 8 straight years, a couple-year gap. You've seen throughout the history from 63 to 2024. Can you guess the all-time leader in March Bristol race wins? And he has done it 4 times.
Is it a name I should know?
Possibly.
Is it of, when I say of recent, is it with...
He's still racing right now.
He's still racing right now. Is it Kurt Busch?
It is Kurt Busch. He has won it 4 times. His brother Kyle has won twice. David Pearson, Carol Yarborough are tied at 2nd place with 3. Dale Earnhardt, Richard Petty have each won. Dale Waltrip, Jeff Gordon have won 2 March races, followed by Kyle Busch and Carl Edwards have won 2. And that's the Cup Series. We're not talking about Nationwide Series. We did mention Bristol was opened up in 1960. They'll run 2 races a year. That's kind of been the average, and they're one of the few tracks that they're still running 2 races. It's the second smallest on the NASCAR Cup, followed by another Virginia track in Martinsville. That is the smallest on the Cup Series. Have you ever been the Bristol Motor Speedway? Or been around
I've been past it. I have not been to it.
For those who don't know, it is in the middle of nowhere.
Yep.
Yes, it's in Bristol, Virginia, not the Tennessee part. It's in Bristol, Virginia. But the way you get to it, it's like a bunch of these curvy roads, and you take it out there, and then boom, you come out through this hill, and it's right there. There is one way in, There's one way out, and traffic is awful.
Yeah, well, I bet, especially if you, with it being where it is kind of in a remote spot.
Yeah.
And yeah, with that just one way in, one way out, I mean, obviously it's one of the, in my opinion, it's one of the best races to watch because it is it's a short track and you get just tons of stuff that happens in that short track environment, and you have a big capacity there too. I want to say
100,000, 160,000.
It's a lot of people packed in. One way in, one way out. It's a traffic jam ready to happen anytime.
Yeah, and I've been there. They had a football game. I was actually multiple football games within that span. I was there for Virginia Tech and Tennessee.
Going to have the baseball one this year.
Yeah, going to have baseball. Reds Braves. That's going to be a lot of fun. They'll probably have some more stuff planned because it's the only track in NASCAR where there stands all the way around the track.
It's a bowl basically.
The last great Coliseum, I think, is what they build it up as, and traffic there is a nightmare. But once you're there, and as long as your bladder isn't full, like unlike mine was going to the game, my bladder has not been the same. So it's just a great atmosphere. Football, no matter what. I'm saying the baseball one's pretty soon.
It is very. I think it's in August.
Yeah, in August. So that's going to be around the corner. Well, let's actually get into the race. And on March 25th, 2006, so Kevin Harvick won the pole position, and right off the get-go loses lap number 3, Steve Wallace, who was 18 years old at the time, making just his second career start, takes the lead. Lap 8, we get our first caution, and buckle up. We got a lot of them in this race. Kevin Conway crashes. They'll restart in lap 16. Lap 20, we get another caution. This time it's Todd Kluwer. He crashes. First of 3 incidents that this Kluever, I think his name is. My writing's terrible. So Kluever, first of 3, he is involved with. So they restart it, and actually not. During the caution, they have another crash. This time it's Wallace. They restart up at lap 28. Lap 30, Kluever has another incident. And Taylor, this is where you come in, because in lap 30, the snow starts to fall. So tell us what went down weather-wise.
Snow started to fall, and honestly, this is kind of more of a classic way, if you will, that you would get snow, especially that far inland. Same situation how we can kind of get snow down here with our snowstorms. You get area low pressure in the Gulf that throws moisture north. If it's cold enough, you get some snow. Same thing, except the low is not in the Gulf. It's in the Atlantic side going up the eastern seaboard. And funny enough, the day before, you had some snow as that low pressure was starting to move up the coast, and then the day of the race, you end up having what we call kind of northwest flow coming in behind that system. There's a little bit of energy in the atmosphere to work with. It's still cold enough. There's still a little bit of moisture left over, and you get snow that falls from it. So you weren't in the brunt of the storm at that point, but you had the backside of it, and it still produces snow.
And it stuck.
And it stuck.
And it was sticky snow.
Yep.
And in East Tennessee, sort of that area, but what that area is more known as Southwest Virginia, not to be confused with Southern West Virginia, because Southwest Virginians are really picky about that. I worked near that area, so I know a lot about it, but Southwest Virginia, snow in March, even kind of the latter part of March, is not uncommon. It's
not uncommon because, one, you got altitude over there, so it's not like you're at sea level. It's not, you're not low in altitude. You've got mountainous terrain. You're kind of up there, so it's easier to have the cold air to stick around, and it's easier for it to obviously be some snow. So yeah, you're no stranger in that part of the eastern United States where you still get snow in March. You even still get snow in April in some of those areas.
Yeah. So these guys, the red flag comes out, and lap number 33, Harvick is your leader at this time, had a pretty kind of lengthy delay because of the snow, because you got to dry the track. You can't just get the snow off. You got to make sure it's dry. These guys had a ton of fun. There's all kinds of video of them messing with the broadcasters, the Fox broadcasters at the time. You had an impromptu snow baseball game.
Oh,
we had snowball fights between track crews. Some of the snowballs even made it into the stands, and the fans were throwing them back. Tony Stewart was on the front row, and they were having a lot of fun. It's just so fun and kind of refreshing to see these guys with money on the line, and it is sort of the minor leagues, even though the big league guys participate. to see everyone having as much fun as they did that day.
Well, it's one of those things where it's how many opportunities do you get to have that? I mean, that's in some of these guys' careers, that's a once in a lifetime career moment to be able to interact with not only each other, your buddies, teammates, other teams, but also the fans. I mean, that was a perfect situation to have. Just, I mean, obviously being at the race is fun in itself, but to be able to have a snowball fight and be able to interact like that, that honestly could possibly go down as one of the funnest races in the history of NASCAR.
This is good to see them instead of getting mad and upset, they just embraced it and had a great time with it. Well, lap number 40, we'll restart. And then we went 21 laps without anyone having an accident, but Bernie Lamar is going to ruin that for us in lap 61. Spun out turn number 2. 10 laps later, they restarted in lap 71. Lap 84, Harvick's going to take the lead from Michael Waltrip, so he's back in the driver position. Lap 97, Joel Kaufman, you'll hear this name a lot. He has a crash. Contact with another name we're going to hear a lot in Ashton Lewis will restart in lap number 100. Lap 112, AJ Foyt, his car was spreading debris. I think he had a transmission issue there.
Oh, jeez.
Yeah, they restart in lap number 120. Lap 123, we have a 3-car crash with Mike Bliss, Mark McFarland, Mike McCall, and started with contact because of Ashton Lewis. So this guy is a menace to society in Bristol here on March 25th. They restart lap number 130. McCall is going to crash again, and he hooks up with Kaufman. Restart at lap number 148. Hamlin is your leader here at this time. Then Greg Biffle going to take it back over from Hamlin. In lap number 176, lap 193, Jason Leffler blows a tire, and they'll restart 6 laps later. 199, Carl Edwards retakes the lead at that point. More debris on the track. Another caution. Lap 226 will start up 6 laps later. 232, lap 234, a 4-car crash. There's that man again, Ashton Lewis, gets into it with Clint Boyer. Johnny Salter has contact with Boyer. Actually, it was a 6 guys were involved, even though 4 were taken out. Restart in lap 242. And finally, lap 244, we get our 12th and final caution in this crash. It's a 3-car crash with Tracy A. Sorensen and Boyer. Restart in 250, so that's 12 cautions. Oddly enough, not the biggest ever in the Busch or the Nationwide Series at Bristol. And frankly, double-digit cautions at Bristol is not
it's not unheard of.
You're putting 40 cars on a mile-long track, and they are just, or I think half a mile track, and they are just bumped right up against each other. Or I think it's a mile long because they go 300 laps here.
Yes.
So they then actually 244, and then we go 56 laps. No issues. Kyle Busch is going to pass Greg Biffle, and Kevin Harvick is on his rear for the final 11 laps. Nothing happens, and Kyle Busch is your winner in what was a crazy race that happened at Bristol.
And that sounds like a crazy race, and like you mentioned, Bristol in itself is going to wreak havoc because you're right. You're cramming a ton of cars in. Not only is it a mile track, but the overall just track itself is not that wide, so you actually are you're cramming the cars in even more. Even 3 wide at this point is you're very, very close together. But Bristol, you always get some chaos with that. You throw in the snow factor, so that's even more chaos. You throw in who is the menace today? Was that Ashton Lewis? You throw him in there.
Cluever, I'm not even sure that's how you say his name. Kaufman is involved. It's always those guys that names you can't pronounce and just want to go out there and just be menaces to NASCAR out there on the track. But it was a crazy day, a really crazy day. Well, Kyle Busch, he didn't stop. He had a great weekend. So you want to guess what he finished in the NASCAR race?
I'm going to guess he won that one too.
Close. He was second. He finished second the next day. Matt Kenseth came away with the winner.
Okay.
Denny Hamlin, he finished 6th. Carl Edwards finished 7th, and Kevin Harvick finished 11th. All these guys have had success over there at Bristol. So do you want to guess who is the I don't know how well you know your NASCAR. Who's the all-time leader in wins at Bristol Motor Speedway?
All-time leader in wins.
Think 70s, 80s, early 90s.
Petty?
No.
It's not Richard Petty?
No. He actually didn't win as much as I thought he would.
Okay. I feel like this is a name that I should know.
If you've watched, well, he's not on broadcast anymore, but if you know, around this time, he was a big time broadcaster, kind of your color analyst, I guess you could say.
Oh, for Fox, right?
Yeah.
Oh, you had to. Oof.
He even has a cameo in Cars with Bob
Yeah.
Costas, or I think that's how they say.
But yeah, throw his name out there. I'm just killing me.
Daryl Walter.
Okay, I knew
Boogity.
the thing. For some reason, I knew it was a Waltrip, but I was wanting to go Michael. But I knew it was not Michael.
Yeah,
but it
Michael
was.
doesn't feel bad for Michael.
Yeah.
He's a good guy, and other than a couple road rage incidents.
Yeah.
But he won
Daryl.
12 times at Bristol.
Wow.
Yeah, that's it's. Let me look up. Let's see. I had it up here. Let's see, Bristol.
God, that was a name where it's like I can picture his face, and I was thinking of his. Because Mike was his brother, right?
Michael
That was
is
his brother. I was thinking of his
And
brother.
He's more known for winning Daytona when Dale.
Yes, when
Earnhardt
when that happened.
died. So
Yep.
you got Waltrip at 12. I don't know why I have to agree to all these different guys. Okay. Anyways, I'm about to go on a tangent because this is just a mess with what
That is-
NASCAR
yep.
news. But I think Earnhardt won there 9 times.
I figured he was up there on the list.
Yeah, Petty was like 5 or 6.
Okay.
I thought it was way more than that. But Waltrip's your all-time leader with 12 wins at Bristol Motor Speedway.
Wow.
So, again, it's not the NASCAR Cup, but
Yeah.
it was cold that weekend.
Oh, yeah.
And obviously extended in the Sunday as well.
It did, definitely. And at least by that point, the storm itself had moved far enough away that you're not dealing with any snow on that Sunday.
Yeah. So, all right, big question here, Taylor. At the end of the day, did weather have an impact on this race?
It definitely did. It definitely did because, one, you had to throw the red flag out there because they have to, obviously, one, let the snow stop, clean the track off, dry it off, make sure you're all fine and dandy. But it takes you out of your rhythm, even as a driver. I know a lot of people would think, oh, it's just driving a car or whatnot. You get into a rhythm, and if that rhythm gets interrupted, it can throw you off.
Yeah.
And it definitely had an impact on just kind of the overall way the race was going. Obviously, like we talked about, Bristol in itself, you're going to have havoc out there. You're going to have multiple cautions. But, yeah, having something like that definitely throws a little bit of a wrench in for the guys who are trying to win because now you're stopped. And next thing you know, you're throwing snowballs.
Yeah, it's crazy. Snowballs on the NASCAR track.
Oh, yeah.
Thank goodness it's on Saturday because if it happened on a Sunday, I don't think they would have been having as much fun.
Probably not.
At that point in time. But Bristol creates chaos, and this time it brought us weather. Well, thanks for joining us here on another episode of Game of Storms, and we will see you guys next week.
This is the X Sports Network.